question for you guys, because I believe today is the IPO day for Pinterest. And any of you guys Pinterest users? I know it's more of a women's based platform. I've never personally used it, but I obviously coaching a women's team. I hear a lot about it. My wife uses it a lot. For tattoo ideas, okay. Can you buy directly off of Pinterest? Because right, isn't that the whole deal? Like you see stuff and then it's like, oh, that bench looks nice. I want that, and it has like information where you can buy. Can you buy directly from there? Do you guys know? I don't think so. Okay. Because whenever we have these IPOs, what was it? All these tech people are going public. Was Snapchat a year ago? Was that 2 years ago? Snapchat. Yeah. And I remember I was talking to Jason Stapleton about that, and he's like, it never made sense, like why people would value Snapchat so highly because it doesn't have a way of making money. And at the end of the day, that's what a business needs to do, right? I could be wrong, but a business needs to produce income, right? So something that, again, I'm not familiar with Pinterest, but I know kind of the basics of it, and everyone kind of gets on it for having a very small consumer base. Like you compare it, it's smaller than Twitter. Twitter is extremely small when you compare it to your Instagrams and Facebooks and stuff like that, and Pinterest is even smaller, and smaller isn't a bad thing, right? Smaller isn't a bad thing, right? I've always, it's the same thing for like, I get these emails all the time where it's like, Akil, you deserve more followers than you have. Akil, how come your account has so little followers compared to the content you put out? And it's really about the tribe you have. So it's the quality of the quality of customers or followers, whatever it is, versus the quantity. And sometimes having that kind of small tribe effect is even better because it makes you feel kind of special, right? Don't you guys ever feel special when you're part of a club or something like that maybe not too many people are a part of? Yeah, you feel kind of special about it. This little niche group, right? They have events for like their international event for, I don't know, shoemaking, something like that. And it's like 4 people there that make custom shoes on their own, right? Something like that. So it's not a bad thing. But what interested me about Pinterest because I knew people from the people I know, right? They go on there to get ideas for stuff. Like my wife goes in there for ideas from like the house. People go in there for ideas for like wedding dresses or this or that. George said he goes in there for ideas for tattoos. They go in there for ideas for stuff that they want, right? That's kind of the difference between like, ask yourself this question. Why do you go on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter? What's the reason you go there? If you look at these as like being online stores, you go to Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter for what? Right? If you're a business owner, you're going there to promote your business. If you're not a business owner, what are you going there to do? Socialize at some aspect, right? You're going to see what people you know are doing, right? Most people that use Facebook, I got a lot of, I don't really use Facebook too much aside from shameless self-promotion, but I have a lot of people that I work with where they just go to Facebook because they want to see like, hey, we don't get to see your kid and stuff like that. So they like when I post pictures of their kids, right? Stuff like that. People go to Instagram because they want to see what other people's are doing. Whether it's like Kim Kardashian, whether it's a friend from high school, like that's the reason they're on there if they're not shamelessly promoting their own business, of course, right? People, at least in my opinion, I think people go to Pinterest more to get ideas for stuff they want to do or stuff they want to buy, at least much more than Facebook and Instagram. Again, from my understanding is you go to Pinterest because you want to look for an idea. You want to do something with this empty room in your house. So you go to Pinterest, you look for ideas. And I just thought it would be cool if like once you find these ideas, if you can just click a button and buy it. Now, I think you guys said that's not the case with it, but wouldn't that be kind of cool? Like you see a picture, you just hover your mouse over it. This bar stool looks nice, and then boom, you just click it. And it takes you to the Amazon link or whatever, wherever it is, the company's link. One click buy, well, not one click buy, but you get what I'm saying. So I feel like it has and I don't know if they're doing that, or if they plan on doing that. But I feel like compared to these other kind of tech places, it has the potential to be basically like a visual version of an Amazon marketplace, where instead of just going on to Amazon and typing in Barstool and then looking for the Amazon results, which is what most of us do, you're going to another place, a more visual place, and you can do the same thing. Now, again, I don't know if that's the case, but that's the way my mind always goes when I think of it. So it might be pretty cool. Who else came out this year? Lyft went public this year. Zoom, Uber later in the year. Tech. So it'll be interesting. But yeah, I saw that the IPO is coming out today, I believe, along with the Mueller report. So I just was on my mind. I'm always thinking business stuff and like, how can I put charts up there and sell tier 1 trading courses? But Lyft opened up and went way down. I feel like a lot of them are doing that. I haven't been paying too much attention, but I feel like a lot of these companies are overvaluing themselves. In fact, we can probably look at Lyft. I took a glimpse. What did Lyft open up? Was Lyft like $80 or something like that? What did Lyft open up at? Anybody remember? I took a quick look this morning. Yeah. I thought about 80, and I just saw the chart, and it was red, just one big red candle. Lyft, LYFT, right? LYFT. Yeah. There you go. Look at that. It's a buy. Who was I was just reading something about someone that was very bullish on Lyft. Do you remember the rapper Chamillionaire? Anybody remember him? Trying to catch me riding dirty, trying to catch me riding dirty, trying to catch me riding dirty. Right? So very people put rappers into this category. Very educated guy. Comes from if I remember correctly, 2-family household, very smart, very techie. So he's really, really big in the tech world. And although he was he was and still is a rapper, he's been his goal has basically been he's an up and coming angel investor, essentially, and with his specialty being in tech. And he was very bullish on Lyft. Yep, H-Town, yep. I loved him. He was really big on tech, so he's been doing a lot of investing, and I saw something from him recently, and Lyft was one of the ones he was high on. They're asking him about difference between, why Lyft and not Uber, right? Why Lyft and not Uber? Because I think we can all agree like Uber's the biggest, baddest one in the room right now. And it reminded me of what Gary Vee always says. He's another a big time investor, where you bet on. I hope I don't butcher this. You bet on the jockey, not the horse. You guys ever heard that saying? Bet on the jockey, not the horse. Yeah. So think about it like this, because you would think the opposite. Well, the horse is the one doing all the work, right? The horse is the one doing all the work. If your horse is physically capable of outperforming all of the other horses, why wouldn't you bet on the horse? The jockey just rides it, right? It's just the only reason the jockey's there because it looks weird just to have a horse running by itself, right? But yeah, same thing. Another one is the driver, not the car, right? Where if you think of the horse as being like the product, right? Anybody can have a flash in the pan product, right? Think about it, if we're sticking with the music references, right? How many one-hit wonders do you know out there? What's that new song out right now? I'm gonna take my horse down the Old Town Road. Ride till I can't no more, right? Think about all these one-hit wonders out there that boom, go away. No substance. What you should be betting on instead of the product is the person behind the product, the idea man. Right? The idea man. Because if someone typically, if you're betting on an individual that has a good idea, do they typically have one good idea or do they typically have multiple good ideas that can stand the test of time? Yeah, multiple ones. So you bet on them for the long term, right? It's a long game. Investing is a long game. You bet on them for the long term instead of just the kind of the flash in the pan moment. And again, the best example I can give is, again, think about your one hit wonders. That one artist that comes out, they have that one hit, and then you're like, man, what happened to him? Versus people that stand the test of time, people that are still performing and creating music these days. And I believe that I guess he met with the owner when he was going through the initial investment talks, and he just liked what they were doing. He liked what he stood for. There were lots of stories about Lyft giving back to when the what was it the hurricanes that hit Texas a couple years ago. About a lot of support they gave to that, and you bet on people that are smart, and bet on people, more importantly, that are doing the right things for the right reasons. And that's what he's betting on in compared to Uber. And I don't think it was anything against Uber. Again, I don't remember the full conversation, but he was betting on the jockey. Nick says Uber has no money. They have massive cash flow. Ooh. Uber and Lyft are like I don't know the official name. They're basically like the new age taxis. I forgot the official name of them, what you're supposed to call them. But yeah, instead of taxi drivers, basically you put a sticker on your car and you can get paid to taxi people around. It's a brilliant idea. The government hates it, but it's a brilliant idea, right? Especially for an entrepreneur. We always talk about in trading, right? In trading, everyone wants to get, more money. How do I get more money? Easy, work more. Well, I don't have the time to work more. Sure, be an Uber driver, be a Lyft driver for, on the weekends, right? You can make your own schedule. You can decide when you want to work. If you don't, it's not like you're forced to. You're not on your couch watching Spurs and Man City, and all of a sudden you have to go. No, you can decide, and you can work as much or as little as you want. I had a buddy, my soon-to-be brother-in-law, I believe, in Chicago, was an Uber driver, and and he decided, he has certain locations that he's not going to pick people up in or take them to. He can decide that, but he understands the certain kind of like hot hours. Right, where like a Wednesday afternoon is not gonna, bring in as much money as like a Friday night when, it's a little bit more busy. So he worked his schedule around those busier hours. He works, I think a few hours a weekend, 5 hours or so, and makes a good little side hustle. Yeah. So brilliant idea. Stuff like that is like, why didn't we think of that earlier? But that's typically how it is. Lil Snoop, yeah. I knew who Lil Snoop was, yep. Unfortunate, very unfortunate. Why does the government hate Uber? Because of like licensing and stuff, right? Like one of the reasons taxis are so expensive, like because they have to license and be certified and all that stuff through the government, and that's how the government makes money. So it's like, hey, you pay us this and we'll allow you to operate. And that was a big fight when Uber and Lyft came out. 'Cause I don't believe it was legal in I don't even know if it's legal in every state right now, but it wasn't legal everywhere and people were fighting it. And you can say it's because, we got to make sure stuff is safe and regulated, but we all know what regulated means, right? Regulated means, right, if you look at the government as a big bad mob, regulated means, hey, if you want to make money, we've got to get ours. That's what regulated means. It's like, hey, if you want to operate, right, we just can't let all this entrepreneur stuff happen by itself. Come on, we want our take. Very, very similar to the mob, where you got to pay for protection, right? Where it's like, yeah, you can run your business here. Just make sure you pay the monthly installment for your protection. We'll make sure you're safe. That's why. So again, I haven't kept up with that stuff, but I know in the beginning that's what the big kind of fuss was about. And that's why taxis are so expensive, because they got to pay all this other cost to operate. So, regulated means we want to wet our beak. Yeah. Yeah, there was someone. So I got some responses. I posted a podcast of the conversation we had yesterday about the taxes, and someone was. I left this part out because I didn't plan on it being a podcast or a lesson, but someone was like, when you don't pay quarterly taxes, don't you get penalized for that? Like, yeah, you do. You do, because the government's going to take theirs no matter what. The government's going to take theirs. Makes 0 sense, right? But the government's going to take theirs. That's just what happens.